In 14.3, we're going to be taking a look at biomes and identify and describe terrestrial and some aquatic biomes. So if we take a look at these two pictures, the picture on the left shows a desert in Africa, probably the Sahara. The picture on the right is a rainforest in Australia. The desert doesn't seem to have very many plants, whereas it's densely packed. What explains these differences? And that's what the study of different biomes and their locations are. Both of these two biomes are close to the equator, about the same distance from the equator. So something else must be describing what causes this intense difference. So let's take a look. Climate is the average weather in an area over a long period of time. Weather just refers to conditions in the atmosphere from day to day. So let's take a look at the temperature zones on our planet. We have the Arctic zone up here. We have the temperate zone here. A lot of human beings live in the temperate zone, as well as the tropical zone down here. And then as we leave going south, we have another tropical zone, another temperate zone, and another Arctic zone at the bottom. Climate and adaptations. Organisms all over the world in every ecosystem evolve adaptations that help them survive in the climate of the biome where they live. For example, biomes with arid climates. Arid means very, very dry. Plants have special tissues for storing water. The desert animals pictured also have special adaptations. But take a look. This is the aloe plant and the barrel cactus. They have storage areas in their hollow leaves. It's really, really important for desert organisms somehow to save that water. These two animals, the Gila monster, that G is pronounced like an H, the Gila monster and the kangaroo rat. The Gila monster's fat tail is an adaptation to the dry climate, and it stores water in there. The kangaroo rat has a very efficient kidneys, and they produce very, very concentrated urine, so it only needs a little bit of water. It doesn't want water to leave its body. So this shot, this world map, is the worldwide distribution of the terrestrial biomes. So for example, tropical rainforests are here in the Amazon and over here in Western Africa. Let's take a look at temperate deciduous forests here on the east coast of the United States, but also in Europe. Let's take a look at a tropical desert here in Australia, here in Northern Africa, and Saudi Arabia. So these are the major biomes of our planet. And you should have a sense of where they are. Notice our lines of latitude here, 30 degrees north, 30 degrees south, and the equator cuts right through. And just because you're at the equator, it doesn't mean that you'll always have a lush tropical rainforest, as we can see. This is a very important diagram called Whitaker's climograph, or sometimes it's referred to as the Biome Chart. And what it's showing you at the bottom is the average temperature. Really cold over here, really warm here. And what we have on the y-axis is the annual precipitation. So if you're in an area that has lots and lots of rain, and it's pretty warm most of the time, over time you're going to have a tropical rainforest. Where we live, we have an average amount of water every year and an average temperature. So we have a seasonal temperate forest. If we are super cold and don't have much precipitation, we might have a tundra. Take a look at temperate grasslands down here. They're a little warmer and they might have a little more water than some areas of the tundra. This is showing you that the two factors that dictate climate are annual precipitation and the average temperature of an area. Now in your text, what they do is they have a panel like this for each biome. So they have boreal forest, temperate deciduous forest. Make sure you read those and get a sense of what each of the terrestrial biomes is like. Now we're going to take a quick look how the ocean is divided into different zones, and that creates different biomes. So this is an aquatic biome. First thing I'd like you to look at is this is called the photic zone up here, just this little area down to about 200 meters. 200 meters is a little over 600 feet. And down here, from this point right here all the way down, this is called the aphotic zone. Doesn't get enough light for organisms to photosynthesize. And this has a big, big effect on ocean life. So plankton are tiny, tiny organisms that cannot move on their own. They live in that photic zone that we just showed you. And they include phytoplankton, which are plants and bacteria, and zooplankton, which are tiny animals. So phytoplankton are bacteria and algae that use sunlight to make food. Zooplankton are tiny animals that feed on phytoplankton. You may have heard of a plankton net. A plankton net is one of the ways that biologists collect different types of plankton. Nekton are aquatic animals that can move on their own through the water, and they can be in the photic or the aphotic zone, and they feed on plankton and other nekton. And benthos are the aquatic organisms that crawl in the sediments of the bottom of the water. Let's just go back and take. So the benthic is down here, okay? And the other organisms are up here. So make sure you know those three types. The plankton, the phytoplankton and zooplankton, the nekton, the ones that move on their own, and the benthos that live at the bottom. Freshwater biomes have water that contain little or no salt. They include standing and running freshwater biomes. So, for example, rivers and streams and ponds and lakes. Lakes generally are bigger and deeper than ponds, and some of the lake and water is in an aphotic zone where there's little sunlight. Some really, really deep lakes, but that's kind of unusual on our planet. So, read over the lesson summary. And from the previous section, at the end of this particular screencast, I'm going to have an end card for both the carbon cycle and for the Haber process, which is the nitrogen producing cycle. So read over terrestrial biomes and aquatic biomes. Make sure you understand them, and good luck on the quiz. We'll see you soon.